All right guys, welcome back to the channel, and I'm sorry it's been a while. I've actually been painting my 23-foot boat with some Awlgrip and some non-skid, as you guys can see. Love the way it came out, so I'll have to make a video one day on painting another boat, probably the 17-foot boat. But for now, I figure I'll make a video since it's been a while. And in this video, I'm going to patch these old speaker holes up, get this all cleaned up, the center console, and get it sprayed to match the rest of the new white I sprayed in. So stay tuned and I'll show you guys how to fill this up and probably include the painting part. Alright, so I'm currently sitting in the center console. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna take some 80 grit sandpaper and we're gonna sand all of this old paint down and get back to raw fiberglass, so we have a clean surface to start laying some new glass on. Alright, so we got it all sanded down. Obviously there's some low spots where the gel coat's still gonna show. It is what it is. It's gonna be solid regardless. I went ahead and cut some pre-cut fiberglass. So we got the chop strand that we're gonna lay first. We're gonna do it section at a time. Gonna get it all glassed up and wet, and then we're gonna lay it in and get it stuck on and pin it out. It should be good to go. Alright, we got some of our alcohol from our good old friends at FGCI. Get some of that put on a little towel there. We're just gonna wipe it clean. Get all that dust and stuff off. Alright, so I got a 1-to-1 mix ratio of epoxy. Gonna get it all mixed up, and then we're gonna lay the epoxy down on the fiberglass here on this piece of cardboard first. And then we're going to transfer it over and put it into the boat, because I don't want to run the risk of drips or anything like that going in the hull or on the floor of the boat. So that's why we're doing it outside of the boat first, getting it wet, and then installing it and pinning it out once we're in there. And if we do need some extra epoxy, then we'll just go back and be careful. Pieces of chop. I'm gonna just lay them on top of each other, so if it does bleed through, at least the other one will catch it. Try and evenly distribute the resin so it doesn't get wasted. So this stuff ain't cheap. All that is what we're looking for, a nice translucent piece of glass. I'm gonna go get it put in the boat. I'll be right back. Alright, so now that we got the both pieces of chop strand laid, I'm going to take the roller and just kind of get it really stuck to the old glass. Also, at the same time, I'm pushing air bubbles out. Don't think I'll really need to have to use the pen roller for this, to be honest with you guys. This foam roller's pushing all the air out. Like, look right there, that big air bubble. Ow. No. I'm not gonna get the pen roller dirty just for this little bit. All right, so this is how it looks from the outside. You can see the mesh looks good already. So come tomorrow when it's cured, we're gonna build up some layers of 1708 and chop strand on top of that and a little bit behind it, so it gives it that nice structural integrity. So till then, we'll wait till it cures. But look at that sunset, beautiful. All right guys, it's a new day. The mesh that we laid the night before is cured and dried. So what we're gonna do now is build up some layers on top of that and get it built up as much as we can before we lay some fairing compound. So here I got, once again, 1-to-1 ratio of epoxy and just some pre-cut circles and some random pieces. It doesn't have to be pretty, it's just filling up the hole. So let's get to mixing and getting this wetted out outside of the boat, and then we're gonna walk it in and install it one by one inside the boat so we don't make a mess. All right, we got it layered up. I'm gonna let it cure for about 5 to 6 hours. Once it gets hard, we're gonna layer it up again and then get it faired out and get ready for paint. All right, it's been about 4 or 5 hours. This is nice and hard. Gonna take our grinder and grind off the edges. All right, so now we got the Awlgrip fairing compound. It's a 1-to-1 mix. We're gonna lay it out on the cardboard, mix it up, and then get it laid on top of the fiberglass that we laid on those speaker holes. All right, so now that we got it mixed up, we're gonna go get it applied into the boat. All right, so we put our first layer of fairing compound down. We're gonna let this cure for about 4 to 6 hours and then get our second layer laid. You wanna get it cured layer by layer so it's stronger and it won't chip or break. It's just a lot more stronger when you take time and let each layer cure fully. You don't wanna just pile this stuff on as thick as possible and get it done the first time. So it'll probably take about 2 to 3 layers of the AwlFair compound to get this completely flush, but at the end of the day it'll be rock solid. Right, it's a new day. We got a second layer of fairing compound laid right before it got dark last night. We're gonna take our new electric Milwaukee sander, get this all sanded down and see how flush it is, and we'll probably have to add one more layer of fairing compound. All right, as you can see, we got it sanded down. It's starting to look like something, cleaning it up. As you can see here, that right there is flush, but we got some low spots to still fill in. So we're gonna put our third and hopefully final layer of AwlFair compound down, get it sanded one last time, and get it ready to get primed and painted. So stay tuned. All right, take our last and final bit of AwlFair compound and fill in these low spots, guys. So like that. Just boom. All right, guys, we got our third and final layer laid of the AwlFair compound. We're gonna let this cure for about 6 to 8 hours, and then we're gonna sand it one last time, make sure everything's nice and even and flush, and start getting this center console prepped for epoxy primer 545 and some Awlgrip. Happy with that. All right, guys, it's a new day. Got the boat all masked up, ready to spray this center console. Look at how much masking I had to do just to protect the boat from overspray. Just for the center console. So we're gonna go here where we were working on. Obviously I'm spraying the whole center console, but I'm just gonna show you guys this part. So we're gonna get it wiped down with some alcohol and get it ready to get sprayed with 545 epoxy primer. All right, so now that we got it masked up, it's time to shoot the 545 epoxy primer. It's a 1-to-1 ratio mix with up to 20% of reducer. I'm shooting it out of a 3M Accuspray gun. I love this thing, very easy to use. And obviously I'm gonna get masked up and get this mixed and get in the boat and start shooting. All right, so I don't know if you guys heard me, but first thing you want to make sure is mix that 545 epoxy in the can because it is very thick. So you want to get it mixed up before you start pouring it out. And then second is when you add the converter and you mix the two parts together, let it sit for about 5 minutes so it can activate. You know, it's epoxy. You got to have it mixed up and you got to get it activated. And then you want to add your reducer so the reducer doesn't affect the chemical reaction that's going on with the two parts. Just a tip.
Choking right now. Oh shit.
All right, I'm in the boat. I'm gonna get this spray. We're gonna take one light pass to get it tacked up, and then in about a couple minutes we'll come back and put the second layer on. There we go. There it is. All right, so we're gonna let this tack up for a few minutes and then we're gonna come back and hit it with a second layer and really get some color on it. All right, this is layer number 2. We're going for coverage. All right, we got our coat of 545 epoxy primer laid. Gonna take 320 sandpaper with this little block and get it sanded down and get it ready for paint. All right, so we got everything sanded down. Now we're gonna get it cleaned up, rubbed down with some alcohol, and get it ready to spray some Awlgrip. All right, guys, it's time to finally start shooting some Awlgrip. Well, technically it's AwlCraft. AwlCraft is their new formula where it's easier to like wet sand and repair if there was nicks or anything like that. Awlgrip is a little bit tougher and used on like non-skid and very durable parts of the boat. We're using the spray converter here. It's a 2-part AwlCraft and 1-part converter of the spray.
and then up to 25-30% reducer. So we're gonna get this mixed up in our 3M gun and get in the boat and start shooting it.
Alright, so we're gonna first shoot a thin layer just to get a tack on there, and then we're gonna come back in like 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes and start applying our second coat, and that's where we're gonna go for color. So let's get to shooting.
That's it. That's it.
Don't rush the process. So now we're gonna let this tack up, and then we're gonna go shoot for color. All right guys, it's been about 10-15 minutes. Now we're putting our second coat on, and we're gonna go shoot for color, try and cover all the gray primer, and should be good. We'll probably end up putting a third coat, but I'm not gonna film that.
Coat number 2. All right. I like that. Little spot there.
All right guys, we are officially done with this repair. Came out real nice. Not gonna lie, there is a couple little spots like right there that I'm gonna have to fix up, but nothing like a little bit of wet sanding and touch up paint to fix that. But all in all, I'm really happy. You can never tell that there was old speaker holes here, and that thing's solid, rock solid, and it looks so good. So hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned something with that. Appreciate it if you like and subscribe, and until next time.